Hey guys, it is Sophia, the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Jew Who Defeated Hitler by Peter Moreira, Henry Morgenthau Jr., FDR, and How He Won the War. I really enjoyed this book. It was very educational, and I enjoyed it a whole lot, and I liked it how the end of it, they did bring the title into it. However, I still don't see exactly how he necessarily defeated Hitler. Other than he helped grow the military, he helped the government having more funding for military so that they could produce more weapons and more training and more airplanes for the war, which I guess did help them defeat Hitler because Hitler realized they weren't going to win the war, and that's why he committed suicide. And so we won the war, and the Germans, after Hitler committed suicide, the Germans surrendered. So, and I guess in that aspect it did. I was thinking it to be, I guess, a little bit more, I was expecting for him to defeat him maybe in a different way by passing laws. But he was the treasury under FDR, and when they re-elected the new president, he did not want him to continue working for him. And so, the president couldn't make up his mind, so he wrote a letter saying, basically that he was the best person for the job, and that if he didn't want him to just go ahead and tell him so. And so he was a very straightforward man. He dropped out of college, Henry Morgenthau Jr., and he had children, and they were really close with the Roosevelts. And it was interesting because he was Jewish, and then of course later they were saying something about one of the presidents after this being Jewish, which I did not know about, but that is great. And it was just very eye-opening and interesting, and it was saying how history has not shown him for how valuable he was to America and to the war and helping us be able to defeat the Germans, even though they were so very successful in what they wanted to do. They were not able to completely do what they wanted to do, which they did enough damage, which is bad enough. But that they were not, that they did not conquer it as much as they wanted to, or as much as they could have, because they were so close, and they scrambled to finish it off, but they still did not have time to do it, and they left lots of evidence so that there was no way that they were going to be necessarily completely getting off the hook for what they did. And some people did, sadly, but lots of people were persecuted. Lots of people were prosecuted for it, and to be Jewish and to be working in the government at that time must have been so scary and so frightening. But he wanted to do this. He was good at it. He had a mind for mathematics and for money and for business and for government, and he was able to help people's lives be spared, which is a great thing, and it's sad that he was not recognized more in the government for it. So let me read some of the things in the back of the book. So I was behind on my reading schedule. Now I'm on track. But back to this book. I started reading this on Saturday, so I was supposed to finish yesterday, which I did, which means technically I am on track, which is great because this book was under 300 pages, so it's good. I thought it was bigger because of all these pages in the back, but it's just references. Okay, so I'm going to read this paragraph to you guys. Through it all, he was plagued by crippling migraine headaches and worries about his sons in combat zones and the failing health of his wife, parents, and best friends. He was always beyond reproach in his ethics. He was a clarion voice for morality on such matters as the incarceration of Japanese Americans, the deal with Darwin, and the aid to European refugees. Henry Morgenthau Jr. led a group that rescued 200 200,000 refugees and the financed destruction of the Third Reich. In the end, he was indeed the Jew who defeated Hitler. Here's already this paragraph before it too. They capitalized on the Allies' industrial advantage over the Axis, which was a prime factor in winning the war. It was not given that Morgenthau would raise so much money so smoothly. He had to battle enemies in cabinet and the administration and Congress and on Wall Street. He had to overcome the legacy of the New Deal and to start from a weak industrial base. He was constantly drawn to other important duties, from running the Secret Service to negotiating occupation currencies, their freezing or releasing the foreign funds. This was an amazing book. If you guys have read it, if you guys have not read it, I highly encourage you to read it. If you guys have, please leave your comments down below. And if you know any other books like this about Jewish people or people who did the Third Reich and Nazis during World War II that helped in the war that people were not recognized for and they should have been. And I think that is very sad, but that's just part of history and how things go. You know, people aren't recognized till they're gone or till years after they have done something. So I encourage you guys to read this book. If you have read this book, please leave your comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time in our video. Goodbye.